Good morning, campers. This is Kevin. So I'm redoing this lecture because it looks like my audio um, suddenly turned off on the previous recording. So here we go. So this lecture, I'm going to talk all about setting up your file, your Revit file, essentially for homework assignment number 4, part 2. So this is the file that we're going to just work the rest of the semester in. This is our project file. And the first thing we're going to put in there is the structural model. All right, so let's get this thing set up and ready to go. So first thing I'm going to do is just start a default project. Because I am recording this from home, I have to browse to the odd location that my nope, that's wrong. That my template files are in. I'll just do that. You can ignore this part, but we want to go and just get the default template right there. I'm going to go ahead and hit open. And okay. So the file is starting up here. This is looking good. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to bring in my title block because I know I'm going to need it. I'm going to use Isaiah's title block. You can bring in your assignment 3. So to do that, I'm just going to go up to Insert. Not that one. I want to do Load Family. Navigate to wherever that assignment is, or that title block assignment is, and hit Open. Now you shouldn't see anything on here. It looks like nothing happened, but it actually has been loaded. So it's in the project and we will use it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my project browser and let's see what we got in here. We've got floor plans, ceiling plans, and elevations. I don't have any legends, schedules, or sheets. We haven't gone through legends and schedules, but that's fine. But I don't have any sheets. So I'm going to delete the ceiling plans because I actually don't need them right now. And I will put them in when I do need them. So I clicked on the first one, held down shift, clicked on the last one, right clicked and deleted. Now I'm going to right click on views here and go to browser organization. And I'm going to click on discipline and click OK. That organized my drawings into, the project browser will now be organized by discipline. So at the moment, I only had architectural drawings in there. So for example, here I am in level 1, right? So if I go to floor plans, level 1 is in bold. And if I scroll down in here and I look for discipline right here, it's set to architectural. I can set it to other things as well, but I just want it to be in architectural. The disciplines that you need to be aware of for the purposes of this class are architectural, structural, and coordination. It's really simple to understand. Architectural will only be our architectural drawings. The structural discipline will only be our structural drawings. And coordination, if we have them, will just be both. It'll show both information. So in the architectural discipline drawings, we only want to show architectural information. Structural, only structural, and in coordination, it'll show both. Okay, so just to get this file started, the first thing I'm going to do is just make some grid lines. So I'm going to make grid line here, make a grid line there, grid line here, and here. Okay. So I know that in the assignment, I said that the grid lines should be 24 feet apart in plan. And in the height, I would like them to be somewhere between 12 and 15 feet. I originally said 24 feet, but let's keep it to 12 to 15 feet. So I am just going to make these the correct dimension. So there's one structural bay all set up. And then I can use this to continue to make my structure for based off of assignment for part 1. I'm going to change these to A B. Okay, got a nice bay set up. Let's go to the south elevation. So right now I have level 1, level 2, and I don't have a roof yet, but let's get that in there. So I'm going to put my level 2 at 15 feet. Oh, hell, let's do 12 feet. I know, I'm crazy. And then I'm going to copy level 2 up, and I'm going to do that another 12 feet up, and I'm going to call that roof. Okay. Now, you'll see a couple things to notice here. This is black, these are blue. When this is black, it just means that there isn't a corresponding view associated with it. So I don't have a roof view on here. That's fine. We'll make one. I do have a level 1 and level 2. The other thing you'll notice is that my what do you call it? Grid lines are below the roof right now. Now watch when I make a roof plan. So to make a roof plan, I'm going to go up to View, Plan Views, Floor Plan. There's roof, the only one I don't have yet, and I'm going to click OK. So if I look at my project browser, that got put into coordination. So I'm going to go into my floor plan, my roof plan, and I'm going to go to discipline and change that to architectural to get it where I want. I'm going to hit apply. Now it moved up here, right where I want it. But notice I'm not seeing my grid lines. Okay, so if I go to the south elevation and I take these grid lines and I stretch them up past the roof level, I will see them in the roof plan now, but I'm still not seeing the other ones. Okay, to see the other ones, we need to go to the west or east elevation. So I can see A and B head on. I'm going to drag those guys up. Okay, now go to my roof plan. I can see that they're there. Okay, so I got my level 1 floor plan. I've got my level 2 floor plan, roof, and I also have a site plan in here. I'm not concerned with that yet, so I'm just going to delete it. Okay, I'm going to change the name of my floor plan here. I'm going to rename it to level 1 floor plan. All right, now here we want to say no because I don't want to change the level name to level 1 floor plan. I want the level to still read as level 1. All right, so just to show you what this does, I'm going to say yes here, which is incorrect, and show you what happened. So if I go to the south elevation, the name of this level changed, which I don't want. So I'm going to undo that. Now I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to rename this level 1 floor plan. Say no for level 2. I'm going to rename that and call it level 2 floor plan and say no. And for the roof, I'm going to rename that and just call it roof plan. There we go. And say no. Sorry about the screaming kids. It's just life. All right. So now I'm going to rename my elevations as well. So I'm going to right click on those and I'll call this one east elevation. This one here, I'm going to rename and call north elevation. This one I'm going to rename and call south elevation. Wendell just entered the room. And this one I'm going to rename and call west elevation. So why am I renaming these? The reason I'm renaming them is because when I place them on a sheet, their title is whatever is in the project browser. So when I place the level 1 floor plan, I don't want it just to say level 1. I want to say level 1 floor plan. So give it a proper title. Okay, this looks good so far. We don't have any sheets set up and we don't have our structural drawings set up. Let's start with the structural drawings. So I'm going to go up to plan view, plan views, and instead of floor plan, I'm going to choose structural plan. Let's start with level 1. Okay, here's my level 1 structural plan. It put it under coordination again. So I'm going to change its discipline to structural and hit apply. Now, if I close all these, I have two categories here, architectural and structural, because I do not have any coordination drawings yet. So under structural plans, I have level 1. So my level 1 structural plan, when you think back to when we did our structural model for level 1, it really is a slab on grade, right? And then underground, we have our foundation wall and our footings. So really, instead of a level 1 framing plan, which would show all, say, the beams and joists, which there are none, I'm just going to rename this structural plan to footings and foundation plan. Okay. And I don't want to rename the level in the elevation. So for level 1, again, since there's nothing below it, we don't have a basement, it's a slab on grade, this is going to be our footings and foundation plan. Let's go ahead and make another one. Plan views, structural plan, level 2. Now that got put into coordination as well. I'm going to put that under structural, hit apply. I'm going to rename this level 2 framing plan. Would you like to rename corresponding levels and views? No. Okay. Now, one more, plan views, structural plan, roof. And we will call this, well, I got to move it first to structural. And we will rename this roof framing plan. So, no here. So the roof framing plan and the level 2 framing plan will show all the steel, the beams and joists that are holding that level 2 floor up, as well as the roof. So you're going to, in these 3 drawings, you're only going to want to see structural information. Okay, we're only going to want to see foundation walls, footings, columns, beams, and joists. Nothing else. No floors, no roofs, no walls, like interior walls or anything like that. Nothing. Okay. Just want those to have structural information. Okay. So right now we've got I'm going to save this project because I haven't saved it yet, which is a rookie mistake. So I'm going to do save as project. And I'm going to save this with this sort of naming convention. My name, assignment 4, version 1. Okay, we can start with that. Always version your work so you can change it and go back. So I already saved a file that way, so I'm just going to save over this. Okay, so we got that set up. All right. Okay, so now let's make some sheets. All right, let's start with our structural sheets. Okay, so I'm going to just to take a step back. In a typical document set, we're going to have architectural information and we're going to have structural information. Sometimes the architectural is first, sometimes the structural is first. To me, it makes sense that structural would be first because it's sort of the bones of the building and it's what gets built first. So for our structural views here, those are going to live on structural sheets, and our architectural views will live on architectural sheets. So let's just make a sheet. I'm going to go ahead and hit sheet. Now I've already loaded in my title block, so I'm going to use that. Okay, here's my first sheet. I can see it under there, okay, in my project browser. Let's number this one S100, and let's give this a name of 3D structural. Okay. So on S100, I just want to put a 3D view of my structural model, which is exactly what I'm asking you for in level or in assignment 4. Okay, so I'm going to make another sheet now. And let's call this S101, which it already did for me, which is very nice. And I'm going to call this the Footings and Foundation Plan. Okay, this is getting a little goofy over here. I might want to change that in my title block, but for now I'll leave it. Let's make another sheet. So this will be S102, and this will be our level 2 framing plan. Make another sheet. S103, we'll call this the roof framing plan. So you can guess what views are going to go on these sheets. S100 will have a 3D view, which I haven't made yet. Our footings and foundation plan will live on S101, and so on. So let's make this 3D structural view. Now, before I do that, I want to just model some things in some columns so we can look at something. So let's go to level 1 floor plan. And what I'm going to do is go to architecture, column. Now, if I chose column structural and placed it in here, chances are I wouldn't see it because this is an architectural discipline drawing. But don't worry, you can still use those, and I can show you how to get them on here. For now, let's actually do that. I'll do structural column. Let's see what happens. So this is going to be a vertical column, and I want it to go a height from the current level, which is level 1, up to the roof. So I'm just going to put that there. So these are on here, so that's good. Okay, there and there. All right, I've got something three-dimensional in the model, so I'm going to go ahead and make a 3D view. So there are my 4 columns. Okay. Now, let's set up this view. So this got put under coordination, 3D views, 3D. Let's rename this 3D structural. Okay. And let's put this under the coordination of structural. Okay, so it's down there now. Very nice. Let's get this view set up. Let's go ahead and hide our levels. I'm going to right click and say hide in view category. That'll hide all of them. I'm going to kind of zoom in here. Let's right click, or let's click on our visual display style down here by doing graphic display options. Now you can do it that way, or you can just click edit under graphic display options here. Take you to the same spot. I'm going to keep this on hidden line, smooth lines, and shadows. I'm just going to turn on ambient, and I'm going to hit apply and okay. So we're getting a light shading in there. Okay. So now as I build up this model, I'm only going to see structural information in here. Now, just to prove that to you, I'm going to go to the level 2 framing plan, and I'm just going to put in some beams. So I'm going to go to structure, beam, and I'll leave it where it's at here. Placement planes level 2, so that's good. I'll go here to here. I'll go here to there, there to there, there to there. And let's go ahead and check that 3D structural plan. That's looking awesome. So my model is really starting to come together here. All right, we got that set up. Now, let's put this view on our S100 sheet, which is what I'm asking you to turn in for assignment 4, part 2. So to do that, I'm just going to click on the 3D structural here. I'm going to left click and hold and just drag it over. And I'm just going to click. Okay. Pretty tiny. Okay, but keep in mind, you're going to have a whole building and multiple bays. So this might be huge. So when I click on this viewport here, I can see that it scales an eighth, which might be fine. I'll just blow it up a little bit on here to a quarter. All right, so that looks pretty good. So we could position this on here. So you'll have to choose a scale that will fit your structure. We'll have to position this on here, and that looks pretty good. Its title is 3D structural. If I want to edit this information, I can simply grab the title, move it where I want. Maybe I want to put it like here. Now, if I want to adjust the tail, I have to select the viewport, then I can adjust the tail. So that looks good. Again, this will show your whole structure. It'll show your footings and foundations and your joists. So a lot of information is going in here. Okay, so that really sets us up nicely, sets this file up nicely to continue on in this project this semester. We've got architectural drawings set up. We have structural drawings set up, and we have sheets set up. So I could, for example, make one more sheet in here. Let me do that. Let's go to View, Sheet. I'm going to use my same title block. I'm going to call this A100. And I'm going to call this 3D Architectural. Okay. This will be our 3D architectural view, which will show all the architectural and the structural together. You might want to call it something else, something more descriptive. That's fine. So that sheet's set up, but we do not have a view for it. So I'll just make another 3D view, default 3D view. And I'm going to change this. I'm going to rename this to 3D architectural. Now, I'm going to leave this under coordination because I want this to show everything. I want to show the 3D architectural, the 3D structural. If I change the discipline to architectural, it will most likely hide the structural information. I don't want that. I can set up this view just like I did the structural. I'll hide some of these elements, and I'll change the discipline, or sorry, not the discipline. I will change the graphic display options to exactly what I had set up in the other one. Smooth lines, and I'll turn on ambient shadows and hit OK. All right, I'm not going to turn on my shadows. I can do that down here or in the graphic display options because it might make this really messy. So I'll just leave it like this for now. So then I can put this view, although they look the same right now, the 3D architectural and structural, I can put that on this drawing or this sheet. And just to show you, I'm going to go level 1 floor plan. Let me just add a wall in here. Do a generic 8-inch. Okay, I'm just going to put a wall, snake it through here. So if I go to 3D architectural, there's my wall. Let's see what happens in the structural. I don't even see that wall. So there you go. So there's our wall. This will house our architectural structural information. If I go to the A100, I can see it's showing that. And if I go to the S100, it's only showing that. If you hit plus next to these sheets, you can see exactly what drawing is on that sheet. Super useful. Okay, I'll call it here. That's good. This should get you a really good head start on creating your file for the project and assignment 4.